CENTCOM just requested permission to deploy America's first hypersonic missile, the Dark Eagle, to the Middle East. This would be our first combat-ready hypersonic weapon, and we have 8 of them. Each one costs $15 million. China deployed their first hypersonic back in 2019, 7 years ago, and they now have over 500 of them. And here's the problem. We have no way to stop them. None. This is the weapon that changed everything. So what makes a missile hypersonic? It's any missile that travels at Mach 5 or above, which is 3,800 miles per hour minimum. China's DF-17 hits Mach 10, 7,600 miles per hour. But speed isn't what makes these weapons unstoppable. Traditional ballistic missiles are fast too. What makes hypersonics different is that they can maneuver. Think about how a ballistic missile works. It launches, reaches peak altitude, and then descends in a predictable arc. You can calculate the trajectory, track it, and position your interceptors because the laws of physics tell you exactly where it's going. Hypersonic glide vehicles work completely differently. They launch on a rocket and reach the edge of space. But then, the glide body separates, and that's when everything changes. Now it's coming back down at hypersonic speed, but it's maneuvering. It's changing course. The flight path is unpredictable. Your interceptor is positioned at point A, but the missile maneuvers to point B instead. By the time you detect the course change and react, it's already hit the target. Flight time from launch to impact is 7 to 12 minutes. China's DF-17 can maneuver during the entire terminal phase, the last 60 seconds of flight. That's when it's moving fastest and when your reaction time is shortest. It can pull aerodynamic turns, change direction, and adjust its glide path. We have no defense system designed to stop this. Our interceptors were built for ballistic targets with predictable physics. Hypersonic glide vehicles break all those assumptions. China didn't just build one hypersonic missile. They built an entire arsenal with multiple systems covering different ranges and missions. The DF-17 is their medium-range hypersonic glide vehicle with an 1,800-mile range. It's been operational since 2019 and was designed to hit carriers, air bases, and command centers. The DF-21D is the original carrier killer. It has a maneuvering warhead and has been operational since 2010. 14 years of refinement with proven technology. The DF-26 has a range of 2,700 miles, which means it can hit Guam from mainland China. It's dual-capable for conventional or nuclear warheads. This threatens every U.S. base in the Western Pacific. The DF-27 is their newest addition with longer range than the DF-17, better maneuverability, and improved guidance. Deployed in 2023. And the YJ-21 is a ship-launched hypersonic anti-ship missile that fires from destroyers. You can't predict where it'll launch from. Operational since 2022. Their total estimated inventory is over 500 hypersonic and near-hypersonic missiles across multiple platforms. All designed with one purpose: defeat American defenses. Cost per missile is estimated at $2 to $3 million. Mass production, economies of scale. They're building dozens per year. Meanwhile, America has 8 Dark Eagles at $15 million each. Still in testing, not fully operational. We're years behind, and the gap keeps growing. American missile defense was built for Cold War ballistic missiles with predictable trajectories and high-altitude intercepts. Here's how the system works. Satellites detect the launch. Ground radar tracks the missile. You calculate its path, position your interceptor, launch, and guide it to intercept. This works against ballistic missiles because their path is predictable. Gravity pulls them down. No propulsion in the terminal phase. Fast, but predictable. Hypersonic glide vehicles break this model. They maneuver. That path you calculated 5 seconds ago? It's wrong now. The missile changed course. Our interceptors are optimized for high-altitude intercepts. Hypersonic glide vehicles stay lower and fly in the atmosphere. Different intercept geometry, different physics. The speed compounds the problem. At Mach 10, the missile covers 2 miles per second. Your radar updates every few seconds. By the time you process the update, the missile moved 4 miles in a different direction. The SM-3 interceptor was designed for intercepts above the atmosphere. Hypersonic glide vehicles stay in the atmosphere. The THAAD system is better suited for atmospheric threats, but it was designed for ballistic targets, not maneuvering hypersonic glide bodies pulling turns at Mach 10. Patriot missiles were designed for aircraft and cruise missiles. Too slow. Wrong intercept profile. Bottom line, we don't have a reliable intercept capability against maneuvering hypersonic threats. China knows this. That's why they built 500 of them. Let's talk about Taiwan. It's 100 miles from mainland China. The Taiwan Strait is 130 miles at its narrowest. If the U.S. sends carriers to defend Taiwan, they're sailing into a kill zone. 500 hypersonic missiles with launch platforms all along the Chinese coast. China doesn't need to sink the carriers. A mission kill is enough. One hit on the flight deck means aircraft can't launch or land. The carrier is combat ineffective. The math is brutal. China launches 30 DF-17s at one carrier. Cost $60 to $90 million total. That carrier costs $13 billion. Has 5,000 crew. Took 10 years to build. Your defenses might stop 20 missiles, maybe 25 if you're lucky. 5 get through. 1 or 2 hit. That's enough. The carrier is out of action. Not launching aircraft, not recovering aircraft, not conducting operations. China can repeat this attack. 500 missiles in inventory. Use 50, still have 450 left. The U.S. has 11 carriers total. 3 are in maintenance, 8 operational. Send 4 to Taiwan, that's half your fleet. China can target all 4 simultaneously from different directions. The economics and physics both favor the attacker. This is why Taiwan scenarios terrify Pentagon planners. Not because China has a bigger navy, because they have weapons we can't defend against. Hypersonic missiles changed everything. Carriers used to be untouchable. Not anymore. Now they stay back, way back, out of range. The Dark Eagle is America's answer. 1,700-mile range, Mach 5 speed, maneuvering glide vehicle. We have 8. China has 500. Development started in 2019. 7 years later, we're requesting permission to deploy. China deployed in 2019 and has been mass-producing ever since. Cost? $15 million per missile. China's equivalent? $2 to $3 million. We're paying 5 times more for a weapon we barely have. Current production rate? Maybe 2 batteries per year. 16 missiles annually. China's production? 50 to 100 missiles per year. At this rate, we'll never catch up. The gap gets wider every year. This isn't a temporary setback. This is strategic failure. We spent 2 decades focused on counterinsurgency. China spent 2 decades building weapons to counter American power projection. They succeeded. We have no defense against their hypersonics. They have 500 missiles designed to defeat our carriers, our air bases, our command centers. CENTCOM requesting 8 Dark Eagles for the Middle East? That's not strength. That's desperation. The hypersonic race is over. China won. And we're just realizing it now.